Hello everyone, we're gonna start an AWS account for the training course. So this is how we're gonna do it. First of all, we're gonna need to search for AWS itself. So typing AWS, we're gonna need to look for aws.amazon.com. We can go there, and then we're gonna create a new account. So to sign up for an AWS account, we're gonna provide the email that we're going to use. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to give it a name. So yeah, you can give it any name you want. It's going to ask you to verify your email. Let me do that. Now that it's done, we need to provide a user for it. So I'm going to suggest a strong password. The next thing we're going to do here is actually fill this information that we need. So we're going to plan using AWS for our personal projects, and I'm going to fill off the details, which include full name, phone number, country, address, city, and then we're going to continue. So let me do this off screen. Next screen you're going to have is signing up for AWS. You need to have a billing information, and over here you're going to require a credit or a debit card. And if you don't have a credit or debit card, you can create a normal account with an app that will normally can give you a virtual debit card. You can use that. So they won't charge you for any of the free limits, which we're going to talk about, but they will temporarily hold up to $1 for this verification. So I'm going to do this while off screen as well, and then continue with this verification. So right now I have to verify this payment on my app, and then we're moving through. So next step, it requires me to verify with a phone number. So I'm going to add that as well. So now I'm going to input the code that I received with the SMS. Okay, so now part of signing up for AWS, we need to select a support plan. Of course, we're going to select the basic support free because we don't want to pay anything at the moment, and these are recommended for businesses or companies. So this is good enough for us. Let's complete sign up, and now we should be finished. It takes a few minutes, maybe up to hours, to have the full services activated, but we can go to the AWS management console. Of course, it's going to ask us to log in again. So now you're going to have to put your email that you used at the beginning and click on next. Going to use the password that I created, and we logged in. And if you notice, we immediately use username and password and we logged in, and we need to improve some of the security services because this is not very secure for us. So the first thing we're going to do is we can close all of this, and let's go to IAM, which is the service that allows us to manage access to AWS resources. So you can see here that you have some security recommendations. We're gonna do all of these. So first of all, we're gonna add MFA for the root user. So for example, you can use SMS, or you can use an authenticator app if you have that in your phone. So let's add an MFA. So I'm going to activate MFA, and I can give it a name. For example, I'm going to use my iPhone for this MFA. And what am I going to use? It's a virtual MFA device authenticator app, which you can install from the App Store. If you have another type of security key or hardware, you can use those, but if you don't, you can use this authenticator app, which is for free. So it's going to show a QR code which you need to scan with the app. Now after you've done adding it to your app, you need to take 2 codes and add them here so that at least it recognizes it. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm just going to wait for a few more seconds for the code to switch. And now this is done. So next time I log in, I need to input my MFA. Alright, let's do something else as well. We also need, as a best security practice, is not to log in as a root, and actually to log in as another user, so that we can remove the root access from anyone, so that they cannot delete our account or access billing or other sensitive information. So we can go to users, and what we're gonna do is add users. So I'm gonna give a username for me, and I can also define how I can access AWS. So I want to access programmatically and also using the console, so both access key and password. So for the console password, it asks me whether I want to provide my own password or auto-generated. We can use auto-generated for now, which they will send us an email, I guess. And it will ask us to reset once we restart, once we log in. So permissions. So I'm going to add myself as an admin for now so that I can have full access. So let's just attach existing, let's create group actually, and then we go, I want this group to have administrator access, and I'll call this group admins. So create group, and I'm gonna go next tags. I don't need to add tags for this. This is fine for now. If you want to add a tag, you can add a key and a value, and then we go next review. Just gonna review if everything is okay. I'm gonna create a user. Alright, also you get, because we define programmatically, you get an access key ID and a secret access and a password. These you can download if you want. Download them now. If you don't download them now, that's fine. You can create another access key later. So I'm gonna download it for myself. And I'm also going to send an email to myself that with the permissions. So now we're done. We can close this. So now we're done. We can close this screen. And before I log in with my new user, let's go to billing and create a billing alert if we're starting to spend money or if we exceed the free tier. We need to go to the billing first, so you can actually go from your account on here on the edge and go to the billing dashboard, which will open the same page I just opened. And then what we're gonna come here is to billing preferences, and we're gonna tick all of these: receive PDF invoice, receive free tier usage alerts, and we can put the same email that we put earlier. And most importantly, we want to also receive billing alerts, and we're going to save the preferences here. Now after the preferences are saved, the next thing is we're going to create some alerts just in case we forget to close some services. And the way we can do this is we can go to a service called CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a service that allows us to monitor resources and application, and it's the service responsible to send us any alerts or emails, regardless of whether it's billing or even your apps or anything related to AWS. And when you're in CloudWatch, for this for billing itself, make sure you're in the region called North Virginia, because I think that's where billing would work. I'm not sure if it will work in the other regions, but the default region is here, US East 1. And we're gonna go to billing here, and we can create an alarm. So basically this will send you in an email alert if you exceed a certain part of your threshold. And we want to have, you get 10 free alarms, by the way, per month. So if you're using more alarms, or if you have other resources taking an alarm, you're gonna start being billed to that. So you're gonna start paying money for the alarm itself, and you're gonna get an alarm for the alarm, which is even an endless loop. But let's create an alarm. Just gonna quickly show you how you do that. And you're gonna see this view. If you don't see this view, make sure you have properly enabled billing alerts in your billing the way we described it earlier, from going to the billing dashboard. When you see this, so we're gonna call this metric, we're gonna keep the estimated charges. I think for currency it's okay if you keep a USD. I'm not sure if I want it in euro here. And all right, so let's define the static, that what value do I want to start getting. If I'm starting to be paying more than 10 USDs, then I do want an alarm. I think that's reasonable to expect. Hopefully I don't have to pay any, but let's just say 10 is the max. It's not that you're gonna pay, it just is sometimes because you forget services open in some cases, or if someone uses your account and you forget to close them. So this is a useful reminder. We're gonna go select next, and alarm state trigger and alarm. These are a bit complicated to understand at the beginning if you don't understand CloudWatch, but basically is when we get this we become in an alarm state. This is when we want to send a notification, and we want to basically send a notification to an email. So to do that, we probably need to create an existing SNS topic. SNS is another service that sends an email, but we don't have an existing SNS topic because this is a new email. So let's create a new topic. We can just use the default name, and I'm just going to put the same email as well, and it should be fine for now. So I'm going to create topic, and then we're done. So there is no other configuration required here. We don't want to scale something because this is just related to expenses, and we can go to next. And we're just going to give this a name, so I'm going to call it billing alarm. There's no need for description, or maybe if bill is exceeding 10 USD. Next, and you can see this is the threshold we defined. We're nowhere there. I'm just gonna create the alarm, and that's it. That should be it. Of course, because it started, there is no data, so you'll probably later see it that it's fine. There's nothing else to do here, and if you're using the free tier, you're not going to even trigger this alarm. By the way, you do need to confirm your email from your SNS topic. So if you go to your email, you're going to get basically some emails here that you need to configure, and this is the subscription confirmation, and you just basically have to click it and it says confirmed. So that's it, folks. We're done with opening an AWS account. I think this should go as well. Probably we'll see it later. There's no deprecated policies, so it should be okay. So that's it, folks. You have opened an AWS account, you've created a user. Actually, let's do the last thing, which is, since we created a user with an MFA, we created the MFA for the root, but we also created a new user So we can log out, and now if we want to sign in as the user, so I'm not going to sign in as a root user, I'm going to sign in as an IAM user. Here you have to define your account ID or account alias, which is the account name you opened with. Name of the username that you gave, and the password that you get when you open the account. Not the root password, but the user password. So the next thing I'm gonna get is a password reset, because we forced the password reset, so I'm gonna have to put the previous password. So now you've logged in as the user, you can see here, not as the root. And one thing is, as a user, even though you're admin, you don't have permissions to access the billing, you don't have permissions to manage the account itself. But because we're admins, we can actually manage some users, and we can still create the normal services that we can still do with AWS. And the next thing you have to do is add MFA for yourself now for the second user, and this is for the root. So you're gonna forget this, keep it just in the safest place ever. Don't use it as unless you have to do it, but use this account as the main one. So we're gonna do the same process again, adding an MFA, and we're gonna do this from here, assign MFA device. So say account $, and we're gonna do the same thing before, and that's it. And next time you log in, you needed to provide this extra code. Thank you.